platform. So on the education platform, our collection, where this is going to be one of those that expands out very quickly. It's from the homeschool market to the private schools to now the public schools, looking for ways to incorporate AI into their world. This was going to be one, and we kind of knew from the very beginning that the learning industry is going to be a big option for us, from course generations to everything that's going on. This will be one of the fastest growing collections that we have, right? And I think it's also huge because students need to learn how to use it. So I'm going to start it from a teacher point of view. I'm going to break it down then into a study guide, and then I'm going to show us how we can go in and get deeper information for both the teacher's lesson plan and the study guide for the student and how they can use the topic research to do that. So let's start with the teacher plan. So the one thing about the teacher plan is it just needs to be a really good topic. And so what I did is I actually did this with my 9-year-old. Okay, so my 9-year-old is in 4th grade, and they have Oklahoma history. So in that whole thing, that was our topic that we were using. Let me see if I can find everything that we're doing with here. Okay, so the topic was Oklahoma history with the American Civil War. Okay, so this is kind of where, not war. This was the topic that she was wanting to do. And so from a teacher point of view, this is where our lesson plan is going to be made from. And then we can choose how many modules we want this built up in. Am I going to do it in 5 days? Am I going to do it in 3 days? How many days am I actually going to participate in teaching this? So I'm going to actually put it into 5 different modules. And I'm going to go ahead and just let it make the lesson plan for me, right? So this is going to set up our goals. It's going to put us into modules. It's going to set us up for the activities that can happen inside of that, examples for those. And it's going to be able to start to set this up so that you can literally have the game plan for getting this information out to somebody. This is a way that we can save so much time for teachers. But also, which I'm not about necessarily just saving time. I am super important into saving time so that they can put more time into something that's more important than the basics, right? And so now if I don't have to spend days trying to put a whole lesson plan together, I can spend more time worrying about how do I make activity 1 better, or how do I get it to where I can go and create more time for something. And for anybody who is doing any kind of teaching at home, whether it's doing the homework or whether it is doing actual homeschooling, this is going to be a dynamic help for you to get something moving with that. Now, this is step 1, right? So we got our lesson plan here. I'm going to copy that and push it over into our composer window. So now I want to, let's say, take activity 1, begin the lesson by discussing the importance of studying Oklahoma's history during the Civil War. Ask students to share their prior knowledge or assumption about the topic. Okay, so that's one thing. We can go through and do some of this. Let's get down to 2 here. Discuss the factors and events leading to the Civil War, emphasizing those specific to Oklahoma. I'm going to copy this. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to expand on that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and I'm going to add another module. And this time I'm going to add our topic research. Okay. Now, what this is going to do is just allow me to go in and put it. I just want to paste exactly what we copied. Okay, this is my topic that I want to deal with. And I'm going to be able to select how much I want to use to go do that. Do I want it to be expansive or do I want it to be just a highlight? I'm actually going to use under 200 words to go ahead and create this. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to create all of the factors that go into this one activity that I'm bringing in module 2. Now, for a teacher, this is really going to just narrow everything in so quickly. So now I can have a full set of education pieces for this one area. And what's great about that is that this is fine for a teacher. Obviously they have other ways to learn this, but for me to be able to go in and just simply push this in and now know that here's section 1 of my activity done. I can have an outline. I can go in and I can spend more time now polishing this one, which is part of activity 1. Okay. You can build out your lessons plans into all of the details as well, along with the topic research. Now, with everything that you're doing on the education platform, and this is the great thing, is we have incredible teachers and educators and administrators that are already part of Ruby. Tanya, I'm gonna bring you on here in just a second, okay? Because this is the first time you've ever seen this, but I know that you are incredible when it comes to knowing the education platform. Corey, can you go ahead and move Tanya over into a panelist so she'll be ready for me in just a second? So I'm going to let you hear from Tanya here, who is so knowledgeable on all this stuff and has been begging for us to get down this road. And now we're just starting to do it. And I'm telling you, she's actually working with us to build out this whole education collection. And it's so important to have this kind of, feedback coming in from people who really understand, not just on a local level, but on a global basis, that she understands it. And then as we expand into the bigger and international countries, we're obviously going to get more feedback from them. So this is what's it's amazing to do it. So here's the module, right? So we got the two modules that are going there, but let's go and add the next piece to this is, let's say I want to open a study guide now. One, I want to provide a study guide for this topic, right? So I'm going to enter the subject, which is, for this one, would be Oklahoma history, right? As our topic or our subject. But then for my topic, I'm going to put American Civil War and Oklahoma. So now oh my goodness, that's not even close, Corey. That was really bad. Okay, American Civil War in Oklahoma. You think I can spell Oklahoma too, because I've been there for so long. Okay, so now I want to go and create a study guide that goes with what we're talking about over here. And now just with a simple button, I'm going to be able to create this study guide that really puts everything into perspective of what I would need to know to go and take an exam based on this, or to know that I have full knowledge of this. And this works from both sides, right? So this is a great study guide that's created with the lesson plan. But at the same point in time, I might be a student that just needs to have a little bit more, help in learning everything. Now, as cool as it is to have the lesson plan, you still need to know what all the answers are, right? So I'm just going to push all this up real quick so I have an empty space. So I'm going to go ahead and copy over the study guide. So I have this down here. Okay, now I've got my study guide. I'm going to go back over here to my topic research, and look what I can do here as a person who's studying for this stuff, right? And I want to know how the more about Civil War. I want to put Oklahoma's role into that. So I'm going to just copy this. And I'm going to paste this in over here. And now I'm going to go under 200 words again, just to give me as much information about the Civil War and how Oklahoma's role played in that. Okay, so this is what's awesome. I got you, Corey. So now as a student, I'm actually able to read exactly what it is that I need to know to answer this question, and I'm learning it. Okay, and I'm learning this in a very easy, fast manner. I'm not having to go through a textbook to find it. I can literally go in and find it right here in seconds, and I can go in and I can then paste it underneath here, so I have an actual study guide that I can print out and I can actually read, and I can go through and do all this. I want to be able to knock this down deeper and deeper and deeper, so we can even go down there into the whole ideas of definitions, practice ways of doing questions that you can do. So like where were the main issues that led to the Minute Civil War? Let's go ahead and put that in up here. We can do that. And then let's do a longer one here. Let's do like 500 words on this one. And so now I can go in, I can just build down what is the answer to this question. Here are the different options and answers that we can put it into. Guys, this is such a great tool for anything that deals with education. I know that my daughter is learning so much faster in this process because, number one, it's more fun. Number two, it's because it's a way that she can see exactly what are the key points. And then and this is the thing, when you're doing something with it, and as educators know, the more that you're reading, writing, and copying, and then you're engaged in it, you're learning it. And so for her ability to consume this, it's better than having the person, at the front of the room just teaching her. She doesn't learn as much that way as she does by doing it like this. And so we hope that this will start a huge way of bringing education to Ruby in a big way. And this is just a few. We are having so many places that it touches education. And that's where I want to bring in Tanya, so I know he can't do that yet. I haven't given him grown-up credentials yet. Maybe I might give him that here in a minute.
That's fun.
Okay. All right. Tanya, I just made you a panelist. You should be able to jump in here. There you are. Hey, Tanya, first of all, give us a little bit about your background, and then also just what this is the first time you've ever seen this. So give me your honest opinion on what these are. And obviously you can't read everything, but just the ability to sit down and maybe kind of walk through the power of what we're putting together right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for asking me to be here today. I am super excited about that. I don't know if I'll turn my camera on so everybody can see my face. But I am super excited that I was asked to talk today on this topic. I've been in education for 27 years, so I know, and I'm 35, so it's hard to believe. But been in education a long time, and I purchased Ruby and jumped onto Ruby for myself personally, for my business that I have, for my social media content, and then the more that I was learning about what Ruby could do, and all of her capabilities. This conversation of education I was like, it just has to go somewhere. And so Robert and I have had some really great conversations about education. And today I was excited. I was demoing this morning on a TikTok live, Ruby. And when I opened it and I saw the TikTok the teaching module, I was like, oh my gosh, already this is exciting. And so I think really what you've already created is a beautiful start to what teachers are going to be able to use immediately. And the thing that I've heard as I've listened to other audio rooms from educators and things like that on LinkedIn is that they're having a hard time with writing the right prompt in there. And since we have these abilities to be able to do that, that definitely separates it. So having the prompts is amazing. For kids, that study guide, and for teachers, that study guide generator is huge. Teachers spend a lot of time producing study guides for kids, especially kids that are in special education. A lot of their IEPs require them to have study guides. So that is amazing for them to be able to have and do. So I think kids will love this. I think this will get kids engaged in their learning. I think this will get them to want to dig into what they're learning about. And I think it's going to be really a game changer for education. I think teachers are going to love it. I love the piece. I think the composing piece is huge. Being able to go over and grab different pieces of it and drill down a little bit deeper.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we definitely separate ourselves with in the workflow, and by the way, the workflow just gets better and better and better. But to be able to stack multiple modules together and to build a document right inside of the application is so huge, because even if you're able to go to Chat GPT, I can probably eventually learn how to write the prompt. I might be able to get there and make sure that I'm getting accurate information, but then I still have to take it somewhere else. I have to go and combine it with 7 or 8 different ways of putting it together, and I can't just do it right there. It becomes very disjointed. And so to create great content, really the flow is almost as important as the actual content, because you need it to flow together to keep your mind kind of working in the same place. I can just tell you that what we're doing in version 2 that is coming out is going to just really floor you, I think, in how the workflows work. So when we do our workflow automation, and January 27th is when we're going to roll that out, you'll see a whole new, interface for Ruby itself. So just the workflow is going to be amazing. But yes, Composer, huge, huge, huge. Especially when you can start to put into your images. Think about this coming out in fourth quarter, like with imagery, right? So I can go and create images. I can create the things that need to go inside of the document. And that will all just be right here inside of a GUI, when we do workflow automation, because that's how everything kind of mixes together and comes together in one awesome document. So anyway, thank you so much for everything you're doing, number one, Tanya. You're amazing in just all the information that you've given us, but you're so willing to put it into Ruby, and I just really appreciate it. I think the world will actually appreciate it. So if anyone could just throw some fire in there for Tanya for being so helpful and bringing stuff in, and what you're going to see. I know that she's working on it even during the weekend right now. Just and then maybe the next week or two, what you'll be able to start seeing as far as modules in the education platform. We want to say thank you to Tanya for bringing a big part of that focus group and bringing it to market. So thank you again so much. And by the way, you look great at this early in the morning on a Saturday, so that's awesome. I don't turn my camera on in the mornings anymore just because I'm not ready to go yet. Like I'm just getting there. So
Thank
all
you
right.
guys. So fun.
Okay, so let's just kind of recap real quick, and then we'll move this into to a couple of things. One, okay, we have our biz plan. That's in the business section of our modules. You'll be able to go and do the business plan there. You can also always see those in a different view if you want to. If you want to go to your business, you'll see the biz plan right here. Then if you go down, you'll find our education, and you'll see our topics right there as well. Topic research, just so you all know, it works with writing, it works with everything. If it works in the marketing, like if you're doing a marketing plan and you have a place that you want to expand, you can definitely drop the topic research, drop anything in there, choose out, how long of a response you want, and then you can start adding and building out those things. This will be amazing for you guys to start to use. So with that, that's going to wrap up our Flexology today. My controls throwing some fire.